My name is Rob Martin. I'm the Chief Architect at Google Cloud for Games, and I'm very excited to join the Looker team, as well as our friends at Faceit and King as well, to talk about understanding players better with insights at scale. So we're going to reserve about 5 minutes at the end of this keynote for open Q&A. We also have the group chat. So our global AI and ML lead for gaming, Patrick Smith, is in the group chat. Please feel free during this keynote to chat with Patrick and ask any questions that you have about this material or anything else you're interested in about gaming, analytics, and machine learning. So let's get started. So, there's some really exciting changes that are happening in the gaming industry right now. At Google, we work with two primary segments of game developers. So we work with mobile major developers like King that develop, really fun, casual experiences like Candy Crush that you can take with you anywhere in the world. And we also work with AAA developers that build really high fidelity experiences that traditionally have been best played on a PC or console. And so, Activision is a great example of a AAA developer that we work with. And one of the really interesting things that we're seeing happening is a convergence of the expertise that's been built in the mobile space and in the AAA space to bring players new types of experiences. So let's start by talking about some of the changes that we see happening and how analytics and machine learning can help enable success with those changes. So the first area that we're seeing changes in, particularly in the AAA space, is a move from physical distribution to digital distribution. So traditionally, if you wanted to begin playing a AAA title, you would get in your car, drive to the nearest retailer. You'd take, in the US, $60 with you. You'd purchase a physical box. You'd drive that physical box home. You'd install a disc into your console. And maybe 90 minutes later, you might begin, having your first interactions with that new title. So, this is a pretty significant friction point in onboarding into a new game. And particularly with COVID, this type of physical purchase can become problematic. So, what we're seeing is AAA really taking advantage of techniques that were pioneered by the mobile majors first. So, mobile games have been free to play. They've been purchased through app stores. They've been delivered by app stores since the beginning. And we're now seeing the AAAs move to digital downloads as well. So that removes one major friction point involved with getting started with one of these new AAA games. So now you don't have to drive to the store anymore. You can just download the game from, the comfort of your living room. However, there's still a major friction point in, beginning to play that game, and that's that $60 purchase. So this game that you may have never played, or perhaps you're new to gaming, before you can even see if you like it, you have to come up with a pretty significant amount of money to spend in order to try the game for the first time. And so here again, the AAAs are adopting a model that was pioneered in the mobile space, which is free to play. So now not only can you download a AAA title, but you can download it for free and try it and see if you like it before spending money on the game. And then the developer monetizes the game then through in-app purchases, which happen after the download. So now we've eliminated two major friction points to onboarding new players into AAA titles. So the third disruption that we're seeing really is happening more from the AAA space and bringing some of the innovations that have happened there into the mobile space. And so, if you rewind the clock maybe 5 years ago, if you wanted to play a high fidelity AAA title, it required a console or a PC, a large purchase. Generally, you could only play with people on the same console or the same platform. And so there were a lot of limitations as far as who you could engage with in that game experience. One of the things that we're seeing happening now is we're seeing these types of high fidelity, high development budget experiences from AAA becoming available on Nintendo Switch, for example, which is a mobile platform, but also on iOS and Android. So now these high fidelity experiences are available on the mobile platforms, and you can cross-play between all platforms. And what this is doing is it's opening up these experiences to much larger sets of gamers. So a great example of this trend is Call of Duty Warzone. So Call of Duty has been a reliable franchise for almost 20 years now. Gamers have, every year or two have gone to the store and plunked down cash to bring home the latest version of Call of Duty. Very reliable franchise. This year, Call of Duty Warzone was released for the first time as a free-to-play title. And I can tell you, my kids were very excited, and their friends were very excited to not only be able to download this game for free, but to be able to cross-play across multiple platforms. Now, if you think about the type of budget involved in a free-to-play title like Warzone and the type of development cycle, there's a lot of risk in releasing games like this in a free-to-play model. And so it's very important to have robust analytics capabilities in place so you can effectively monetize the game and drive down that risk curve. So let's talk about what Google and Looker can do together to power these types of high-fidelity, free-to-play experiences, which can be monetized through in-app purchases. So we found that really two capabilities are required to be able to effectively monetize free-to-play games. And those capabilities are scale. So, in order to effectively understand which content your players love and which content they want more of, you need to be able to collect data at a very granular level, millions or billions of events per day that you're ingesting per title. So you need a lot of scale to ingest and collect the data. But data by itself doesn't contain any value. In order to understand what your players' actions are and how they'll drive monetization in your title, you need to be able to unlock insights. And so it's really exciting now with Looker joining the Google team that we can offer these two capabilities together as an end-to-end solution with BigQuery, which is focused on ingestion and analysis of data at scale, and then Looker, which really surfaces those insights so that you can understand how to monetize your game and how to drive player engagement. So let's talk first about BigQuery and how we provide scale. So as you know, Google is the world's largest data processor, and BigQuery is the platform that we built for ourselves to be able to process data at a scale that would enable us to offer consumer products to billions of users every day. So BigQuery is a serverless platform. There's no infrastructure that our internal analysts or your analysts ever see. You're only ever working with data and queries. It's a very simple platform. It's easy to get up and running with, as you'll see in later demonstrations. It's just based on SQL. And so it allows you to take very traditional and well-tried techniques and scale them up to planet scale, so that as your game grows and expands to new audiences, you really never have to worry about scaling the infrastructure. So then Looker completes the picture here by allowing you to unlock insights from your game. So Looker is where you're going to build your data models. It's where you're going to build dashboards and KPIs. It's where you're going to expose these types of insights to your teams so that you can really in real time see what's happening with your game and how your content releases are being received by your players. One of the really exciting things about Looker as well is that you can integrate it directly with BigQuery's built-in machine learning capabilities. And Chris and Ernesto are going to show you some of those integrations later, so that if you've built predictive models with BigQuery, you can run those predictions directly in your dashboards. So one of the things that was really exciting for me to learn when Looker joined the team, I thought of Looker as a tool like many of the others that are available in the space that's sort of designed for power users only. And I've been really excited to learn that Looker is actually designed for your entire enterprise, from your game developers to your producers to your live ops to your executives. Looker is designed to give your entire enterprise access to those planet scale insights that you're capturing in BigQuery. One of the other really cool things about Looker is these built-in blocks that offer pre-built and predefined metrics common to the gaming industry that give you a really nice starting point for developing your own custom metrics. So again, Chris and Ernesto will show you some of that in just a little bit. So you're going to hear from the folks at King later on. King has done some really amazing things with this platform. So they're utilizing this end-to-end platform to really effectively monetize titles like Candy Crush at planet scale. So King is a great illustration of this idea that, that Looker and BigQuery really are built for the entire enterprise. So at King, there are over 450 people that are using this platform to run over 130,000 queries regularly. For these titles, they're ingesting 70 billion events every day. And Google is really handling all of the scaling and ops so that King can stay focused on growing the game and providing players with more of what they love. So, in closing, the right way to think about this solution is as an end-to-end smart analytics platform for games. And so whether you're utilizing Looker and its cloud-native capabilities to derive insights from the data, or our storage or ingestion pipeline technologies, all powered by BigQuery, this is an end-to-end cloud-native solution where your data never leaves the cloud. So all of this technology is cloud native. It's all serverless. There's no infrastructure for you to manage. So you can really stay focused on deriving value and insights from your games. Now, this is an open platform as well. So Looker can connect to various other data warehouses that you may have and legacy data sources. And BigQuery is also able to work with, other analysis tools of choice. But we really like this concept of a governed platform where all of your data, all of your analytics, and all of your insights are in one secure central location. So, with that, we're really excited about the scale and insights that BigQuery and Looker can bring to, anyone from an indie developer to the largest mobile major and AAA developers. And with that, would love to open it up for any questions that we have from the audience.
Fantastic. Thank you, Rob. We do have some time now for Rob to take questions. So as a quick reminder for those of you in the audience, please submit any questions that you have into the Q&A window, and we'll make sure that we have Rob answering those while we have him here. I see a couple that I want to toss your way, Rob. The first one, you had touched on the waves of disruption in the gaming industry. The question is, what is the next big change that you see coming for gaming?
Yeah, I'll actually call out a couple. So, I see this trend of very high fidelity experiences being delivered to any platform in the world. And I see that trend continuing. So, very low-cost devices, I think, have been sort of excluded from these types of experiences. So, low-cost mobile devices, ultra-portable notebooks, these types of devices, I think we're going to be looking to open up high-fidelity gaming experiences through streaming. Also, we've heard from a lot of our game developers that development of games has become challenging due to COVID. So the types of high performance desktop hardware that's typically required is a little cumbersome if you have to deliver that into people's homes and provide high bandwidth networking back to the central studio. So I think we'll see more streaming of development of games happening as well through virtual desktop technology. So those are a couple areas. I think also we're keeping our eyes on 5G and what those types of ultra low latency experiences might mean for new types of massively multiplayer games that are not possible in today's world. So, and the key to all of that is going to be, again, really understanding what the players want and giving them more of that. And so having robust analytics is super key to unlocking the value in those new initiatives.
Awesome. Thank you for that. We've got another one here. Is there an integration with the Google AI platform?
Yeah, absolutely. So, Google AI platform is also serverless. Everything that Google designs, we really try to abstract the infrastructure away, step one, so that you're really not having to worry about scaling clusters or virtual machines up. That's step one. And then step two, we try to expose all of our services as APIs. And so we do that within the Google Cloud platform, and the Looker team also does that within the Looker platform. And so when everything is a cloud native AI, API, it becomes very easy to integrate things like AI directly into your dashboards.
Awesome. And we've got, here's a good one. Can you give me an example of an ML use case used by BigQuery for gaming, specifically, maybe, with digital marketing attribution and player behavior change?
Yeah, I think, recommendation system for in-app purchases is a great example. So, if you take a game like Call of Duty Warzone and you monetize it through things like season passes or through skins or various customizations, it becomes extremely important to understand the type of content that players like and will purchase more of. And so if we can utilize machine learning to train a recommendation system so that rather than players having to look through an entire catalog of skins and customizations, the system can surface recommendations that are tailored to them. That's really going to drive much more effective monetization in this free-to-play model. Very cool.
We're getting some more great questions coming in. What do you see as the single biggest differentiator of Looker as an analytics platform in a market with so many alternatives?
Yeah, what I saw, so, I'm familiar with many of the alternatives. We've been connecting to all of the alternatives from BigQuery for many, many years. The two things that I really love about Looker, number one is that it's cloud native. So it lives in the cloud, it's built in the cloud, just like BigQuery. And what that means is you don't have to pull your data out of BigQuery and load it into an analysis tool that might be running on premise, it might be running in another cloud. That's a very inefficient process. And every time that you're pulling data out of one place and moving it to another, it creates the opportunity for security breaches and all types of, really undesirable side effects. So I really love that Looker is cloud native. It's directly integrated with BigQuery, so it lives within that governed zone. And I also love the fact that because it's cloud native, you can take things like KPIs and metrics that in other tools might show up on a dashboard. And with Looker, you can surface those metrics as APIs that you could call directly from your game, running on a handset or running on a console. So I really think the fact that Looker was built from day one to live in the cloud alongside platforms like BigQuery is the biggest differentiator.
Thanks, Rob. Here's another interesting one. How much do you think the upcoming release of iOS 14 is going to disrupt mobile-first companies' ability to accurately pull data at the granular level needed?
That's a really interesting question, and I think the industry is sort of watching what's going to happen with iOS. I'll go back to that third segment on that first slide where I talked about the disruptions. One of the things that we try to do at Google is to build cross-platform solutions. So, our analytics pipeline is cross-platform. It's neutral. You can integrate it with any platform. So one of the nice things that does for you is it isolates you from changes that are happening on your client platforms. And so whether you're sending data into BigQuery from iOS or Android or an Xbox, we're neutral, and we're going to provide you the same level of capability from any of those platforms.
Great. Let's see here. So another question, how do you see cloud gaming developing in the future compared to traditional console gaming?
Yeah, so I mentioned 5G, I mentioned streaming already. So in addition to those two, the other thing that I see happening is, in today's sort of state-of-the-art world for multiplayer experiences, you take a game like Call of Duty Warzone. That allows 150 players to engage together in a single match. And that's sort of the state of the art. 150 players can play in the same game at the same time. One of the things that I think cloud native technology is going to do is 10x that number and probably 10x it again 2 or 3 more times. Massive worlds where you have thousands or potentially even millions of players interacting with one another in real time. Those are the types of things that are only possible with cloud technology and the kind of scale that we have in our data centers.
Great. And another one here, what makes Google BigQuery a better option to partner with Looker than Databricks?
Yeah, that's a great question. Databricks and all technologies like it, at the end of the day, are based on infrastructure. So Databricks runs on a collection of virtual machines. Hadoop runs on a collection of virtual machines. Products like Redshift run on a collection of virtual machines at the end of the day. So, infrastructure management is very much a part of the experience of using any of those platforms. And so, with free-to-play games, you have removed all of the friction to people onboarding to your games. And so what that means, there is literally nothing standing between your games and millions of concurrent players other than good marketing or good buzz in the industry. And so if you're running on any kind of solution that's based on clusters or virtual machines or nodes that need to be scaled, and you get a top streamer maybe that decides that they want to stream about your game, that type of solution will be absolutely overwhelmed when that type of traffic happens. And that is precisely the problem that BigQuery and Looker solve for by abstracting all the infrastructure away, being built at Google scale so that you never have to become a victim of your own success as a game developer.
Great. And speaking of free-to-play games, you mentioned that Warzone had a lot of risk to go free-to-play. Do you know what specific analytics were done to mitigate the financial model change?
Yeah, that's a great question, and I don't want to speak specifically for the Call of Duty or Warzone team, but the key here is that a mobile title might take on the order of months to develop. Your typical mobile title, so they're relatively fast to develop. You can release them at very high scale. You can iterate quickly, and the risk factor per title is probably an order of magnitude lower for your typical mobile title. Really what I was speaking to in general terms, more so than specifically for Call of Duty, is that you're fundamentally taking a title that can take years to develop and have tens of millions or even $100 million budget, and you're releasing it for free. And so in a sense, as a AAA developer releasing free-to-play titles, you have to be as capable or possibly even more capable than the type of expertise that's been built over years in the mobile industry. And that's really your risk mitigation, being able to collect data at any scale and being able to effectively extract the insights you need to monetize that game.